Easy all. So I've been reflecting back on the interviews that I've been doing, and I thought, I need to do more. That's very clear. But I also thought, what about raver stories? And so I'm going to try and do a few videos about some of my experiences at iconic nights like this that I was very fortunate to go to. And maybe I'll feature a few more. Who knows? So, Fantasia takes you into 1993. I'll be honest, I don't remember much of the night. I remember bits of it, but getting there and getting back, that was the fun part. So me and my mate Berkey, we'd bought tickets for this. Our other mates had kind of stayed local and decided to go to Roller Express. Can't remember what night was down there. And we were due to be picked up by another mate of mine. And obviously, as you know, it was in Littlecote House, so it was miles away. I'd only just passed my driving test. So anyway, my mate was going to come pick us up at 2 o'clock. Didn't show. 3 o'clock, didn't show. 4 o'clock, guess what? So it clearly got to a time where we thought we need to get down there. So having only passed my test, I think, for about 2 weeks and never driven without an instructor or someone else in the car, my mate lent me his car. Royce, big up yourself. It was an old brown battered Astra. Well, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty well looked after. What it looked like when we returned it, now that's a different matter altogether. So me and Berkey got in the car. We drove down there. He was absolutely terrible at giving directions. I'd only just started driving. We managed to get there, and the one bit I do remember, there'd just been a colossal queue of cars waiting to get in there. And don't know how long it took, but eventually we got in there. Everyone parks in the middle of a field. It was a miserable night. Obviously the UK, 31st of December, it's never going to be that great weather. So we managed to park up and get into the venue. As I say, I can't really remember much of what happened in the night. I pretty much, whenever I used to go out raving, I would tend to just end up like walking off on my own, and I'd spend most of the night on my own anyway. And so I think I split up from my mate Berkey, chatted to loads of random people, heard a few DJs play. Kind of remember Seduction, definitely remember Slim Matt, definitely remember Rat Pack. There were some absolutely phenomenal sets from that night. So anyway, thankfully, at some point, I'd kind of bumped into Berkey by some miracle. There were thousands and thousands of people there. I remember we tried to kind of get to the front. It was absolutely heaving. So we're like, nah, let's not have any of that. So we decided to leave, obviously, when it finished. I think it finished up at 6 a.m. Again, can't remember who played the last set. But there were a couple of guys, Brett and Larry, who we kind of made friends with. I think it was either at Tasco Warehouse or it was Laserdrome. I'm pretty sure we met them at Kiss in Ibiza in October or September earlier that year in 92 and kind of kept in touch with them. And so they were like, can we have a lift back to London? Yeah, sure, why not? So I'm still a little worse for wear at this point, but I'm like, we need to get home. So we got in the car, and because it was this old battered Astra, we came, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but you kind of came out of the car park, which was an absolute mud pit, and we managed to drive out of there. And as you came out, there was a big hill that kind of went up, and then you kind of made your way through all the country lanes and onto the motorway. So I, in my wisdom at the time, was not convinced that my mate's car was going to make it up the hill. So with hundreds and hundreds of cars leaving, I said, guys, you're going to have to get out and walk up this hill while I drove up there. Now, of course, my ears are ringing, don't really know what's going on, don't know why I made that decision, but I ended up kicking them out of the car, screaming the living hell out of this car in first gear, riding the clutch. I must have burnt it out, all the way up to the top, stopped, waited for them, got them in the car. That was that little drama getting over. Then I said to all of them, look, whatever you do, like, I'm a bit freaking out here. Like, this is the first time I've ever driven, let alone, you know, buzzing and trying to get back through, navigating through motorways and all that kind of stuff. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Just keep me company, keep me talking. Anyway, we're kind of driving and it's all kind of foggy and misty and I can't really see anything out of the windscreen wiper. So I've got the windscreen wipers going on mad. I'm kind of doing the jet water and trying to get it in and I couldn't see anything. There was a little strip, probably about 5 centimeters at the bottom of the windscreen where I could see out of. So I thought, well, this is it. This is how people drive apparently. So I ended up just kind of ducking down, and spent most of the M4 just driving this way. Obviously, these lot had all fallen asleep and left me to it, so I'm trying to navigate this and the motorway at the same time. And then as we got to the end of the M4, I did something. I think I hit some heaters on or done whatever, and just the whole windscreen came clear. I was like, you bastard. So anyway, dropped the boys off, got home, and we ended up going to an after party around at my mate's house, which was a bizarre experience. Out to Pittman, Donal Hogan and all those lot. They had their own very fun night. And when I came in, I think it was Pittman, was hugging a door, literally either side of a door. And he was deadly serious. He's like, I'm going to marry this door. This is it. I've met the one. And we were like, what? Got back in Roy's car, got home, dropped it off in his driveway. The next morning when he came and looked at it, it was absolutely caked inside out, full of mud, absolutely everywhere. And we were talking about this the other day, which kind of gave me the idea to do this. And I didn't realise that he had to get the axle or something, some part of it replaced anyway. But yeah, like I say, don't really have many memories of the night, but I remember what happened getting there and I remember what happened getting back. But I know that it was night. Well, I was going to say it wasn't a night not to forget, but anyway. So yeah, so I'm going to try and do a few more of these because there's, you know, some interesting tales. Again, the producers and artists, the DJs and label owners and promoters, MCs, you name it, that have all kind of contributed to some of these interviews. But I want to start doing a few raver stories. So if you've got a fun, cool, interesting, weird, effed up story that you want to send me, just drop me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. Instagram's probably better. And yeah, let's have a chat about it. I hope you liked it.